Hello, this is a Jayleshark and Friends
and Russell
podcast. And on today's show, the reflection of perfection, the Ayatollah of rock and roller, the Sharman of sexy, the most electrifying man in Phuket Entertainment Today, the saviour of Phuket Radio, Phuket charity events, Phuket dog events, and now even the saviour of the Jayleshark and Friends and Russell podcast. It's me, Jayleshark. That's right. It's all about me today. Enjoy the show. So you're running this podcast, are you? So you're going to do the whole bit? Go for it.
Are we going to start the podcast anytime soon?
We're starting the podcast. Turn your phone off.
Phone is off.
Now.
So we're ready for the podcast.
Start the podcast now.
We need a klaxon, not a klaxon, a thingy board.
I haven't got into doing sound effects yet, and that won't work on
That's more of a visual gag, isn't it, as opposed to
you went posh,
one.
Isn't it?
Isn't it?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Last week's podcast had the lowest viewing figures, or listener figures, probably would be the better one to say, that we've ever had.
Yeah.
2.
And to be fair, I think it was the best pod we've done yet.
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. We're sat here in Russell's studio stroke dog kennel with... Can I introduce... is he going to talk? He won't talk. There's a lovely, fluffy Aru German Shepherd that's called Max, who's sat next to me today. And he's
bored
lovely.
already.
Big yawn.
Yeah.
So we don't have a guest today, Russell.
Well, we sort of do.
Who's the guest, Russell?
Well,
it's me! It's me! I'm the guest.
Pick me!
I'm excited because I'm the guest.
Are you very excited?
I don't know if I want to be the guest or not. I was thinking about this because what we haven't done is actually a recap of actually what this podcast is all about. We've done some interviews. We've had you and me chat about life. Then we did you last week. And I guess if we're going down the interview route, then it is going to be me this week. And I was thinking driving here that what we should have done...
That,
no, I know. What we should have done is done you and me... Well, don't thunk and drive. We should have done you and me at the start.
See, that would have been logical and sensible.
Yeah, very true. Right, over to you then. This is the Jayleshark and...
I think it's worked out better doing it this way because...
Why?
We've had a tough week where we didn't have a guest. Oh, I've got a great idea. I'll interview you.
Yeah, okay. Well, we did have a guest lined up, but we've put her off till next week, just for this.
Fair enough.
What would you like to interview me about?
Well,
you know me already.
I think we should start with so who are you and where do you come from?
Do you want the real me or the non-real me?
Well, it's funny you should ask that, actually,
Go on.
because one of the key questions I did have in my head was,
yes,
where does Jay the Shark come from?
It's not Jay the Shark, it's Jay Leshark.
Jay Leshark.
Oh, oui.
Where does he come from? Assuming it's a he, because the shark could be a she.
Mate, at the moment, it could be anything.
Quite. But you weren't born Jay the Shark. And
No.
Jay the Shark as not a pseudonym, a character, an alter ego.
Yep.
What was the genesis of
Okay.
that? So, but before you answer that,
Yeah.
go back. I don't need to know when you popped out, but that's
No,
from
that was
when
your joke from last week, which I thought was good, by the way.
Thank you.
And the Thai Airways one I did giggle at as well. I thought that was quite funny. I'm going to use that when you ask it. Go. How did I get here to Phuket?
Yeah.
I can't remember the airline, actually. I remember landing, though, and I thought it was really weird that everything was planted in rows. I'd never seen it before. Like, trees were dead straight in rows. And that's what I noticed about the first thing when I arrived in Phuket.
Rubber trees.
It was rubber trees.
Yeah.
So I'd never seen rubber trees before because I lived in a place where they didn't grow rubber trees.
No.
That was
Very bendy.
What, rubber trees?
Yeah.
I've never bent a rubber tree. I see your joke there. Have you ever
thank
smelt the stuff that comes out of rubber trees? It is minging, isn't it? It's horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first impression. I've jumped.
So when did you get here?
2005.
7. Really?
Yeah. Or was it 6? 6 or 7?
Oh,
7.
I thought you came here the same year I did.
No, I didn't. I've been here 12 years. 2007.
Okay. So, and what brought you here? What was the, other than the airline, just to cut you off, what was the...
Oh, same as you, property. Well, I didn't have family living here, though.
No.
But that's assuming that people would listen to last week's podcast, because it's just silly, isn't it? If I just keep referring to last week's podcast and they haven't listened. Okay, so I was... oh, God, we've got to cut a very long story as short as possible. So I'd worked overseas pretty much since I was 18. So I was doing water sports instruction during the summer, and I was either teaching skiing, doing ski technician work, or chalet maiding during the winter. So that's what I did from 18 onwards, and then in between that went to university to study leisure, whatever. In 2006, I got to the point where I'd been running some of the biggest beaches that the company who I was working for, Sunsail at the time, they were the main water sports company out there for what I was doing.
Out where?
Oh, just in the markets.
Oh, okay.
In the market. So there was Sunsail and Mark Warner were the two big holiday companies that were doing sailing. Mark Warner was more...
We're talking like Europe?
Everywhere.
America,
Europe. Okay, so Sunsail, I was on the hotel... I'm rushing this, aren't I, really? I should slow down a bit.
Possibly.
Okay, so Sunsail... Okay, let's step back a lot. I wanted
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. My name's Jay Leshark, and this is Russell Interview Me. I started teaching kids multi-activities. So I was teaching them climbing, abseiling, archery, rifles, orienteering, all that kind of stuff. So I did that with a company called PGL, which was a British holiday company where anyone who's British would have heard of them. It's where you send your kids for a week activity holidays. Okay. So I was an instructor doing that.
Like a summer camp.
Yeah, summer camp. So we'd have kids come for a week or two, and then we would do the different activities throughout the week. So I got to a level there where I got quite high, as high as I could go. And also, if you wanted to... I wanted to work further afield than just the UK. So... you either went to work where you could go and do Camp America.
Camp America,
yeah. So there was Camp America, which I went for. I remember driving got the train to London once to do one of these Camp America interviews. It was like speed dating. So there were all these tables set up, and you'd go from table to table to table talking to them. Anyway, that was all. Talk about slave labour. Camp America was slave labour. They would pay you, like, you'd only get your money at the very end of the 13 weeks.
This was like is it like a 25 and under sort of thing with Camp America?
Yeah, there was all rules and it was very dodgy.
I vaguely remember looking into it when I was at school.
A lot of them, like, if you didn't get that, you might get into one of the religious camps. And it was like, anyway, so it wasn't for me. So when I'd finished teaching the kids, or when I wanted to move on to the next step up, it was either Mark Warner, which was more tennis, but they had sailing as well, or it was Sunsail.
Tennis and sailing. There's a mix.
Yeah, but it's holiday stuff, isn't it? It's what you do on holiday. So I chose Sunsail because they were more of the... and also at the time, I don't think I had my sailing instructor's ticket. I was a kayak instructor, I was an open boat instructor, I was a multi-activity instructor, but I never was a sailor. I could sail, but I wasn't an instructor.
Okay.
And I think with Sunsail, I could go and work for them without having the instructor ticket. So I chose Sunsail. So I ended up working for Sunsail for 5 years. Got to the higher heights of opening beaches in Turkey, which they had one of the biggest beaches in Turkey, a hotel they took over. So I did that. Worked in Antigua for a couple of seasons as well, and did a few ski seasons. And then kind of by that time, it was like 15 years I'd been doing it for, and I got tired. And it was time to get a real job. So 2006, I decided to go and get a real job. So I went and asked Sunsail if I could work in head office. They just looked at me and went, no, thank you very much.
Yeah, we know you.
And so ended up in Kidbrooke in London, which was where anyone who knows Jamie Oliver, he did a whole thing about kids getting fat, eating horrible food at school and stuff. Mm-hmm. That was filmed in Kidbrooke where I was. And it's also where Stephen Lawrence got murdered, which was a big news because it was a racist murder.
And in fact, 90s?
Yeah, and I worked at the David Lloyd where the people that allegedly did the incident were going training at, which was always nice. It was a real dodgy area. In my apartment, I could see where the alleged incident took place.
Well, it wasn't alleged. It happened.
No, it did happen. Yeah, X marks the spot. I could see X marks the spot. I didn't go out very much at night. So I was working in London, hated every minute of working in London, hated every minute of living in London, and got a phone call from the guy that was my manager in Sunsail and said, do I want to come out to Thailand because the owner of Sunsail had just set up a project out here, and would I come out and help sell property? I just split up with my girlfriend at the time, and I said yes. And then about a month later, I was here.
Excellent.
And that was it. Never sold property before, never been to Asia before. My background is leisure, water sports management, teaching, coaching. And so all of a sudden I'm selling property and marketing property.
And where was that?
Where was it?
Yeah.
The village Coconut Island.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I was there, yeah.
And how long did that last? And how long was your...
I knew you asked this stuff. I was trying to work this out on the way here. There's a squirrel in your tree. That's not good podcasting, but I don't often see squirrels in Thailand.
We get loads here.
Do you?
Yeah.
Squirrel. Dog, tell the dog there's a
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Oh, our captain will go and have a look.
He's really fluffy as well. Anyway, sorry, what?
But no, I mean, I remember you working for the village, and I remember...
Yeah.
Specifically, we were doing... I remember roughly when you left...
Well, so I did the village for, I think it was about 4 years. I don't know dates, right? I can't remember the date of yesterday.
Oh, I can help you with that.
But I started on the radio while I was still at the village because the village sponsored my show, even though they didn't really sponsor my show because they didn't give any money, but I used their name for my show.
Yeah, that's correct.
Because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, bless you.
Yes.
But I remember when you'd left... the village.
It's because the scumbags of timeshare came in and started doing their timeshare bullshit. Sorry, timeshare people. There are some very good timeshare people out there, but the timeshare company that got into bed with the village Coconut Island, they were scumbags. It's just the squirrel just jumped onto your roof. It was trying to do your...
Again, not great podcast audio.
No, but... carry on.
But good to know.
Squirrel.
So, but we were 2011.
It's a funny word, squirrel. It's like bollard. Bollard's a funny word as well.
Bollard. You're right, it's got a bit of an edge to it. Squirrels and Bollards, there's the podcast title for you.
Nice.
2011, there was a certain event that you and I did together.
Did we?
We did. A particularly awesome event, which I really think, and I know you do, think we should try and do again.
Was I at the village when we did the three-legged race?
You were, and we were doing one of our training walks.
Was I moaning about
and we were having a long chat.
Company?
Well, because you also had an opportunity, because you were looking at moving to... Tanyapura.
Which, okay.
And we were bouncing between the two, trying to work it. We were having that sort of,
is Tanyapura better than the
pros and
timeshare
cons,
company? Yeah. I won't mention the timeshare company because there are some, and in all fairness, there's some nasty people in that company, and I don't want to...
It's a very cutthroat business model,
It was back, and I think it's improved a lot now, and I think that, like for example, the ones at the Marriott, the ones at Laguna, the ones I think are much nicer. It just so happened that there's a lot that gave, especially the Spanish ones, gave it a lot of bad press, and there was a lot of rip-off merchants, and unfortunately I was involved because I was the in-between between the village Coconut Island and this timeshare company. So all the guests who were turning up that had been told they were going to get this luxury 5-star villa on the beach that weren't, they were getting some dodgy little... It wasn't a that's a lie. It was a nice little villa, but it wasn't what they were paid for or what they'd been told they were getting. Yeah. And it wasn't the picture on the brochure. And so many times people would bring out these brochures and throw them in my face. And the abuse I used to take because of it just got so much. I mean, it's something that I'm getting, something that kind of relating to now is I hate getting abuse for things that I can't control or I haven't done. I'm very happy if I've upset someone, I'll take the abuse. Yeah. But when someone else makes mistakes or someone else does something and I'm the one that has to front it, I hate it. I hate it.
And the worst part is you can't turn around to someone and say, look, it's not my fault, it's not my responsibility, because that all...
They don't give a shit.
They don't care. This is the problem that they've got. It doesn't solve anything. And it also smacks of that unprofessional...
Yeah, completely. Completely. So I left the village, must have been, 2011, 2012 then. Yeah. Went to work for Tanyapura for all of 2 months. I was running Up Beach Club at the time, which was on... Naithon Beach. Lovely place.
That was beautiful spot, wasn't it?
Yeah, the chef was didn't want to talk to me. He'd been there for a long time. He was best friends with someone who had lots of money and owned Tanyapura, who was serving foie gras on the beach as a beach concept and didn't understand. I mean, once again, these people that come in here just don't understand Phuket as a whole. And then they decided to shut Up Beach Club down after 2 months because it hadn't been making money for the last year. And I'll tell you why it wasn't making money for the last year, because Tanyapura... Oh, no, I shouldn't tell this because it's... Anyway, the cross-charges between companies was ridiculous. Yeah. So anyway, so that was all of 2 months, which was fun. Enjoyed that one. And I just had Zahara at the time because Zahara was only a bub. So it was really nice. Yeah, that was a real kind of...
great time to be alive.
Honestly, my life in Phuket. Anyway, move on. I don't know what I did. I was thinking about this. I don't know what I did after that. I think I went to work for Ensign Media. And then I went to Zazadar. I think that's how it panned out.
I remember you being at Zazadar for a while.
Yeah, I was at Zazadar for about a year. Well, no, I wasn't at Zazadar for that long. because once again, crazy owner. God, I pick 'em.
You don't half pick them. Yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, and then I worked.
Now you're working for yourself, man. You don't half pick them, mate.
Oh God, I'm a nuts one. But then yeah, so I went for Ensign Media for a bit. And that was fun, actually, because we were doing a magazine and I was doing marketing for them. And it was just when Facebook was getting into marketing. So I was doing that, which was quite cool. And then Zazdar Beach Club approached me and wanted me to go and help them. So I helped them out, got that all set up. Unfortunately, the owner decided he wanted to, it's their prerogative, up to them. And then, that's when I think my ex was just about pregnant with Ashton, my boy. So that was fun. And we just bought a house. So I just lost that job, and I think it got to the point where I had about 6 months of no work, which was horrible. And then RPM came along.
That's right. RPM was the next one. That was it.
So, but I think actually, hold on, I'll go back. I think after Up Beach Club, I think for that that high season, because they shut it, I think just before high season. I think I just DJ'd. I think I DJ'd for about 6-7 months because the money at that time for I was getting 3-4 wedding gigs a month, and that was easily more money than I was earning anywhere else. So in all fairness, I think I just DJ'd for a bit. I think that's what I did do.
And this is back in the day when weddings were high profile is the wrong term, but they were big events.
Oh, mate,
the money that was being spent was...
Listen, I'll be honest with you, it was 35 to 40 grand a wedding.
Yeah.
And, but they were 12-hour gigs.
Yeah.
So you'd be there at 3:30 in the afternoon and you'd be playing till 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
But they were 150, 200 people. I mean, the lowest would be 100. Like a 100-person wedding was a quiet wedding.
Yeah.
So, they were big weddings and they were fantastic. Those days were great.
Yeah.
Until the other scumbag wedding DJs came and dropped the prices.
Well,
Scum of the earth.
Because you don't do any weddings or anything now, do you?
No, my last one I did was a Danio.
Right, okay, yeah.
So that was the last
one.
I did.
But that's for a friend. But in terms of working with agents or anything, you haven't done that for...
No, I haven't. I kind of... I think... I don't want this... I don't... I think 3 years ago, when I got divorced, I kind of made... I think even before then, I'd stopped doing the weddings because... I might have stopped after that because, one, they were always at weekends, and that was when I was getting to see the kids. So it was kind of right, it's done. And also the money wasn't as good. You know, not saying that 20 grand is still a nice bit of cash for playing music, but it wasn't as good as, the 35 and the 40 grand that you get in.
Sure.
And I think that the budgets of the weddings had dropped, and also the quality, I think, of the weddings. And there was a lot more wedding planners coming on the island. There was a load more people doing it, and they were all ripping each other off and trying to steal ideas. And there's a lot of younger DJs and very good DJs that were coming through that were making it a business, whereas mine was always a hobby. And it was never a business.
That's the thing. And I was approached recently by a guy because I do wedding celebrant, as you know. So, and I haven't
badly.
Yeah, brilliantly. But back in those days when we were doing it a lot. And I remember one year, crikey, it was like every night I was doing a wedding. So there was during
you were busy
during a couple of peak seasons. It was like literally every day there was a wedding. Some days I had 2 weddings and was rushing from one place to another to do them.
Did you get many Russian weddings?
Quite a few, but nicely done. So,
must go. Even better.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
So, but yeah, got out of the racket when I went to SGS, and then trying to get back into.
This is my podcast, yeah.
Yeah,
just
but
checking.
I noticed within that sort of 2-year cycle, a lot of the agents, a lot of the hotels were now basically going in-house. And it was just a case of, it's all about, yes, everyone's got to make money. I get that. But the model here seemed to be, what's the highest we can charge the client and what's the cheapest that we can get all of these services for.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, you're going to DJ for 10 grand? All right. Is anyone else going to do 9? No. All right, we'll take you at 10.
And
so it was just, I don't care who you are or what you're doing. It's just, that's the lowest price.
That's how it was. I hated DJing for hotels, and I still do now. And like the last hotel I DJed was last New Year, and I could have charged a lot more, and I didn't. But I just did it out of a favour for someone who asked me quite early on. I said, "Yeah, why not?" DJing for hotels. I've DJed in. Oh, mate, I've DJed where you have no room to get behind your decks, and you're hidden behind plants. You can't see the crowd. Some of these places you go to, just like it's just so mortifying, terrible. Because there's no respect for what you do. Everyone thinks a DJ is just a simple job, and it's not a simple job. There's some shit.
There's a simple way to do it.
Oh, there's a simple way to do it.
There's a good way to do it.
But no, I was very professional with my DJ, and I loved it. I did enjoy it, but I got tired the 12-hour gigs were long. I mean, that was a long time DJ. Especially if there wasn't a band on, you would DJ for 12 hours straight. I mean, screw these people that come out here and only do like 2-hour gigs at one of the nightclubs or one of the beach clubs. It's like, oh, I'm only doing 2 hours. Like, mate, try doing 12 hours in a row. And trying to keep drunk people, because also when you do a gig at a I've only ever done one proper. Oh no, I've done Catch White Party.
Have you got any Stone Roses?
That's exactly it. Nice one, Colonel. But dealing with drunk people in a nightclub, you've got the barrier because you're quite high up, and people, you've got security will stop you from getting too close to the DJ. At a wedding, you don't have that. No. You get bombarded by idiots, and what's a nightclub? You can pretty much, they want the same style of music normally. Whereas at a wedding, no.
All bets are off.
I want ABBA. I want YMCA. Right, I want pop. All right, I want some deep house. Mate, have you got any EDM? And it's like, well, what EDM do you want? No, just EDM, mate. It's like, well, that's such a huge genre. You got any rock? Yeah, well, what rock do you want? Just rock. It's like, well, okay, you play a rock song. That's not the one I wanted. It's like, well, which? Or this is. Do you know this song? Yeah, come on. It's like, no. Do you? Obviously not. Or they're there with their This is why I hate this. They stand there and you can see them, right? Your headphones on, and you're just about to do something, and they're there with their phone, and they just show it to you while you're DJing. It's like, mate, seriously, just fuck off. But you can't say that. You're like, yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, I'll play it for you. And then you know it's not going to work. And you can see them across the dance floor staring at you, giving you evils. And then they'll come up about 10 minutes like, mate, you're going to play my song? It's like, yeah, I'll get round to it. I've got a playlist. Yeah, you're all right. Another 10 minutes. Mate, you're going to play my song or what? No one's dancing. Everyone hates this shit. It's like, well, no, the dance floor's full. Or, I know the bride and she wants this song. No, she doesn't, because she gave me a playlist. Dick. So, weddings were... I got... Yeah, my lack of... What's the word? Of
patience.
Patience has gone with people now.
Well, I'd have been the same. I mean...
You'd be terrible.
I would be awful. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not a good DJ either, but I would be absolutely awful at dealing with all of that.
See,
I'd fly in, I'd float in, do you, yes, you're married, and then fuck you off.
Yeah, and you get paid shitloads of money compared to what a DJ does. But I couldn't celebrate either, and a lot of people have asked me to celebrate, and it's something that I don't think I could do just because of my mannerisms and how I would do it. Because I think that, although I probably could if I really needed to, but it wouldn't be me.
And I think, for me, I mean, I don't believe... as you know, I don't have no interest in getting married. I don't buy into the concept of marriage and all of that. We can shelve that for later, but that's me. So it's wonderfully ironic that I've done hundreds and hundreds of these weddings, and I actually really enjoy the role and being there. I enjoy some of them because they're just a really good laugh. One of the best ones that I remember doing was a gay wedding at Twin Palms. These two Singaporean guys got married out in the pool. Only about 30, 40 people, everyone wearing shorts and pink shirts. They all jumped in the pool afterwards. It was mayhem, but it was brilliant fun. But I just really enjoy being, because without being quirky, it's quite an important event, right? Someone getting married.
I know, it's a huge event.
For them.
And if you fuck it up, you don't get another chance. Well,
exactly.
Some people do.
Yeah.
But no,
if you fuck up as a DJ and you play the wrong song in the walk-in, that is massive.
Oh, no, I tell you, there's one story, and I've only made two big mistakes with walking songs and first
one was
dance.
Getting married.
And I don't want to dwell on the wedding DJing too much, but I was quite a big part of my Phuket life. But there was once where it was a walk-in song, and I'd got it, and usually I check all the songs, and I check the first 30 seconds, because that's what I do. Yeah, that's fine. For some reason, it was only 30 seconds of the song. So I shit myself. So I had to quickly, and luckily I've got the skills, baby, that I kept on having to loop it, and no one noticed that it was the same kind of 30 seconds. So I got away with that. There was one where, this was a really weird wedding, it was up in Kamala. They were both tattoo artists, absolutely tattooed to them, both of them, both lovely people.
I did that wedding.
You might have celebrated, yeah. You might have celebrated with them. Yeah, and he was like shaven head, tattooed, just his face was clear.
Yeah.
And she was tattooed right up to her neck, and she was a pretty girl.
Yeah.
And they were both lovely people. On their playlist was pretty much death metal, and was their party stuff. And then there was some Whitney Houston thrown in there, which was really weird. But then for their cocktail stuff was all Disney songs.
That's right.
It was the weirdest frigging wedding ever, right? But then they wanted their first dance song. They gave me the name of the song, the name of the and I got it. It was exactly what they wanted. I played it. It was the wrong song. And it turns out this band had done two songs, exactly the same name, and I didn't know. And it was my only mistake I made. Luckily, those days, or still, you could just quickly get the song they wanted and played it. But that was the only mistake I've ever made from a first dance song. And then after that, I've always been very serious about the songs. But yeah, that was a weird wedding. And it's great, they're doing death metal, then all of a sudden they come up and say, oh, can you play some Whitney Houston? And you sure? Yeah, it'll work, mate, it'll work. You put Whitney Houston on. And my God, the tattooed dude absolutely throwing it out there to Whitney. Unbelievable. Craziness.
Excellent.
So yeah, that was my wedding DJing.
Cool. Which and the reason it's worth going into, because that has been a big part of your life, really, in Phuket.
Yeah, I guess so. People know me from that and the radio, I guess, and the entertainment stuff.
Well, I was going to bleed into the radio sort of next, because that came. You were at.
Okay, so I don't know the dates, but I know that I did 91.5. So the reason is so.
And how did that come about?
Well, I'd always entertained, so I'd always done from my work teaching water sports during the day, because it was a holiday camp basically. So teaching during the daytime, then in the evenings you'd put on entertainment. So it'd either be quiz nights, it would be shows, it would be whatever, different things that we would do. I mean, we used to, some of the stuff. There was once we came down as a quiz night dressed as a Jamaican bobsleigh team. Yes, we blacked our faces out. We had afro wigs on, and on top of the afro wigs, we'd carved out watermelons to make them into helmets. And then we had a cardboard that with all three of us came running down the stairs holding this thing. We'd get away with stuff like that. Although we did. The boss was there, and he did actually say, "I'm not sure guys should do that." It's like, come on. We've done all sorts of like flick your bean nights, where it was a quiz night where you had to girls had to come up and flick a bean into a net. There was a couple of things. There was all sorts of it was stuff like that. It was holiday camp stuff, but there was always a little thing. So we'd always entertained. We'd always do like evening shows. I would sometimes go and do singing with a band, whatever, and do all that sort of stuff. And then in the evenings, I would go to local bars, and I would often go and play music. I wouldn't call it DJing. I'd say pick the songs. And then I'd MC as well. So, yeah, to the one, to the two, to the DJ crew, what up? All that sort of shit. I got approached by...
How did they go again?
I was my first year in Turkey in 2000, or 99, 2000. I got approached by Halikanas, which was a massive nightclub in Turkey, in Bodrum. They actually came and asked me, I think I was there one night drunk, and I got behind the decks and was MCing for them. And they actually came and asked me if I'd MC every night for them. It was just bonkers.
You do it?
No. I couldn't, because I was doing the other stuff. I was just, mate, I was drunk. There's no way I could do it. I was having a laugh. So then when I was here, I was doing the sales and the marketing, which was great, but I still needed the buzz. The reason I picked to teach water sports wasn't really so much of the water sports. It was I remember going on holiday as a kid and seeing these instructors, seeing them do the shows, seeing them do all the entertainment, and seeing how much the kids adored the instructors. And it was a time when, Take That was huge. And it was like, so all the kids were teeny boppers, and they loved these instructors.
Wait, sorry.
Go on.
You mean Take That aren't huge anymore?
Take That massive
now.
I
was going to say.
So I always wanted that adornment. That's a terrible word, but I love it. I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to be a boy band. I didn't want to be a boy band as such, because I was never a dancer. That's for sure. You can tell that from my lack of dancing ability. But I loved the fact that they were adored, and I really got that. And that to me was a big thing for why I wanted to teach water sport. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the coaching stuff, but it was entertainment. Even when I was teaching, it was all entertaining. It was having fun with the kids, having fun with the adults. So it's all about entertainment. It's all about getting a buzz from doing that. So when I was here, I had missed that buzz. And I think I was driving, and I just heard an advert on 91.5 asking for radio DJs, and I thought, why not give it a go? Phoned them up. Pretty much went down, met Byron, met Steve, God rest his soul, met Doris, God rest his soul. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. God rest his soul.
Isn't it? Jesus. Sorry, Jesus. Met them, had a chat with them, and that was it. I pretty much came up with the concept of the show, which was going to be a chill-out show, because I was really into chill-out music at the time. It was going to be on a Sunday afternoon. Did my first concept with Byron, which I've still got, and that was it. Went from there to 91.5. So I did that it was a Sunday afternoon chill-out show.
That was for a couple of years?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
until it got politics.
Yeah.
And I think it all got... I think it's much of a muchness now. When you look back at it, I think it all was much of a muchness. I think that, it was someone's business, and we wanted it. I wanted it how I wanted to do it, and it wasn't my business, and I should have respected that. And I think I look back on it now and think, maybe I was a bit of an egotistic. But I think also, egotistical dick is what I probably should have said. but also I do still believe in what I was doing and the concept of what I was doing. And I think people do want to know about your life. They do want to know about the wedding gigs at the weekend. They do. And my show was not just about chill out music. I mean, there was a few silly games on it. There was a few bits of fun. I brought in different characters.
A bit like Radio 1 style.
Yeah, it was very much Radio 1 style. You know, that's what I listened to. And I grew up with local radio where it was characters and it was all about being a personality on the radio. The music and kind of that all came second, although the music I chose was fucking brilliant. Because it was all
You did some really good shows.
I did some really good music. I mean, the music, and I still love that music now. And I miss playing it. In fact, I recently just started producing a show again, which is the same concept with the chill out music, but slightly not with me talking, which is probably a good thing. Oh, sorry, Captain, I just stepped on a doggy. Sorry, mate. So that was going back to it. I just think that was my way of doing things. It was all about the character. So I haven't answered the whole shark thing.
I haven't lost that thread yet.
So I should go to that. So the shark thing came from my first year teaching water sports. I learnt this new word when we were out. So it's my first. I must have been 17 at the time, I think, or 16, 17. And we learnt this new word called sharking. So if you're a shark, you was on the hunt, and you're on the hunt for women. And apparently, back in my youth, not now obviously, but back in my youth, I was a bit of a player and I was a bit of a shark, which I don't believe I was. I just like talking to ladies, especially the most beautiful lady that I can find in the room. I would generally just shark away and try to get hold of that lady. So a lot of people would then start calling me Sharky. So my name my name at college, sixth form college, was Sharky. My name at university was Sharky. My nickname doing the water sports was Sharky. But the reason it became
the Shark.
Well, the other reason it changed as well, because at that time it was Jay. I changed Jay to just the letter J as well, because my badge at Sunsail was Jay, but the A looked like an O, so everyone was calling me Joy. So that went away. So for ages, I just had the letter J was my name, which is now my daughter's middle name. Is just the letter J.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. So my daughter it's Sahara J Walker, but just spelt as the letter J, which really, people really find that weird, especially when you're going to get a new passport. So what's it stand for? It says it doesn't. It's letter J.
Yeah.
Well, it can't. No, it can.
It can,
It can be
and
what
it
they
does.
Fuck it likes.
Yeah.
So the Leshark thing came, I set up my first, this was going back to 99, 2000, I set up my first Hotmail address. And for some reason, I have no idea why, I put Jayleshark, as in Jayle Shark. I don't know why I put the French bit in it. I can't remember why. I honestly don't know.
Maybe as in THE Shark was taken or something.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know whether I just wanted it to say, maybe it was, I mean, I used to be called the Earl of Essex at one point when I had so many different nicknames for myself. Earl of Essex was a good one. And maybe I just wanted the French bit to sound a little bit more posh. I don't, or, more lovey. I don't know. But it just became Leshark.
But hey, on a small segue, do you remember the process of setting up your first Hotmail account?
Oh, God.
And
I remember sat in the internet cafe waiting about 15 hours just to get the first screen to come up.
The bit I remember was, it was going. I was a good mate of mine, Nobby. I was having a chat about it with him not long ago about this. And when we went through that program, it was all new and very like, what is this stuff? And then it comes up, what are your interests? What sort of things are you interested in? It's like, are you interested in sport, beauty products, or in the news, or water sports, and just loads of these things. So you go, I'm interested in sports. You tick this box. Oh, I'm interested in that. So and we just ticked all of these boxes. And then the next day, 1,500 spam emails of all these things that you've checked come in,
which take ages to come in,
and it took fucking ages to come in, and that was, it wasn't spam because you'd asked for it, I guess, but yeah, it was the.
But those listen, kids. Those days we didn't have phones that could look at the internet. You had to go to the internet.
Cafe.
Yeah, went to the internet cafe.
Yeah.
So I was working in Bodrum in Turkey, going to the internet cafe on your day off to go and check your emails that you'd never get because you didn't know anyone who had emails.
I wonder if their internet cafes still exist.
Yeah, they do. There's one. There's a couple in Surin because people still use it. I mean, I guess you're right. Maybe not now so much anymore. Because now, phones are so cheap to get, aren't they? Especially, even my dad's got a friggin' phone he can check. He uses WhatsApp now. It's not good. All the time. Hello? Are you on? Are you there? No, go away.
No.
So that's where the shark kept. Yeah, so I was then known at university when I was doing, because I did university in Gloucester, which was the brilliant university course, leisure studies.
I think we did 9 hours of lectures. The rest of the time we was out learning how to teach. So we did sailing lessons, kayak lessons. I mean, we'd go to the Ross and Wye and we'd canoe down the river. You know, we're doing we'd be in the Ardèche going down white water stuff. I mean, I must admit, I do miss doing the canoeing and the sailing and the stuff and kind of blasting around and the water skiing. And I mean, those were they were like big yachts. God, we once smuggled. we once took a flotilla of yachts from Turkey to Greece to pick up a load of stuff in Greece because obviously the tax was different because it's Europe. So we got filled up all the stuff that we needed for the hotels, and then drove the flotilla back, hoping that the police wouldn't, or the port, not the port police, but the actual what were they called, Coast Guard wouldn't catch us. Fuck, it was scary, man. And there was some big swell on that.
And I thought I was pushing it, taking a Toblerone into Australia.
Yeah, cheeky fucker. I smuggled loads of shit. Smuggling's bad, kids. Don't become smugglers. No, we had some good times. I mean, I really enjoyed the water sports life. And the skiing, I think I enjoyed the summer seasons more than the winter seasons. Winter seasons were great. I love skiing. I absolutely adore. I've been skiing since I was 10, so I absolutely love skiing. But I think the atmosphere in the summer seasons, I think there was more women in the summer seasons as well. Because also, for some reason, because I was at a higher level in the summer seasons, I could get more choice of the ladies. Whereas the ski seasons, I wasn't. There were some really good ski instructors there, and a lot of them. The ski instructors got all the women. The ski tech and the guy in the chalet cleaning the bogs. Don't get a look in. Don't get a look in, mate. So that's and then I came here. Anyway, that was the shark thing. So it stuck.
Of all the things that you've done, all the roles, where would you say what was the most fun? What's if forget money and all of that? If you could go back to
what money?
If you that's easy to forget, isn't it?
Yeah.
If there's one thing you could go back to, or one thing that you could do, what would it be?
Oh wow, that's a great question. Do you know there isn't one thing? It would be an amalgamation of everything. I can't. There would be not one thing. There's been some great times. There's been some bad times. There's been some. Listen, Antigua.
Sounds like a song.
Yeah, Antigua was a fantastic place. I got some great friends in Antigua. Most racist place I've ever worked in my life. I felt.
Surely this is a close second.
Very close second, but Antigua was. I mean, being called white boy. But once you get to know them, didn't have a gun pulled on me, but there might have been one day where I was meeting somebody and he showed me a gun he had in his pocket. I was like, oh, that's a nice gun. That was interesting. Shirley Heights, which was, Antigua was great, but I'd love, there was some people at Greece, my first time in Greece when I ran my first beach was amazing. I do miss that kind of life, I guess. The radio, I still love radio. I still really enjoy doing the radio, but, maybe that's going to be the future, which hopefully it will be. I think I would have to put lots of things together.
Right, okay.
There's not one time where I said that's when I was the happiest. Mm-hmm. I think there's been some great times throughout my life. Not anymore. Last 3 years have been shit. Yeah.
So we're on the upward trajectory.
Yeah, I guess
so that kind of brings us to the now. So tell us what is...
they brought us to RPM, I think, about half an hour ago. RPM was
just gloss over that because that was
I loved RPM. I loved working there. It was a crazy, crazy time for everyone who knows Phuket, knows the issues with RPM. But RPM, I still love RPM. I think it could be one of the best marinas in the world. It really could. I think it just has one issue, and that's it.
I think it's got a few issues, to be honest.
Well, I think there's one major issue there.
There's one major issue. But.
And then after RPM, when I was let go from there, which is I'm not sure I can tell that story, but anyway, it was an interesting boardroom meeting with a very old person, pretty much physically attacking me, which was fun. But anyway,
I remember getting a phone call. I was walking around Central.
It was bonkers, man. It was bonkers.
Hi, mate. Have I got a story for you?
I will never forget bulging eyes as long as I live. They were that. Anyway, I then went and did a little bit of freelance work for Destination Asia. No, I don't think it's called Destination. Anyway, another company, which was another weird thing. And then, unfortunately, whatever happened to me from the personal point of view happened, and that kind of screwed me over for a long time. So I went freelance because the reason I'm freelance now, and the reason I do what I do now is pick and choose. Is it's not because of the money so much better, because it's not, but it's just having the freedom. Yeah. It's having freedom. And I think that I learned over the years of living in Phuket, I didn't come here to work and be shouted at and screamed at and being told you're useless all the time and being told you're no good and constantly, I could do that in the UK if I wanted to. I don't need people to scream and shout at me. And I think that...
how's that working out for you?
Yeah. Interesting. But no, and now I've got a few plans. I think that do I have to tell people my plans or not?
Well, I was kind of going, what's, I guess one of the other questions, well, there's a couple. Bucket list obviously is coming, you know that.
Yes.
So, but from, do you have a 5-year projection or a 5-year plan?
Look, let's get to the nitty gritty. 3 years ago, after divorce, no, I didn't have any plan apart from surviving.
Yeah.
Surviving personally and just surviving just in life in general. I didn't have any plan. My plan was just to shut everything down and hope everything would just go away. To wake up in the morning and there wasn't a morning. That was the plan. And it hasn't happened. So that was shit planning, wasn't it? Do I have a 5-year plan now? Yeah, I kind of do. Being good at radio, being able to speak would be the first thing to learn. The whole podcast thing is an interesting thing, and it's been something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And it isn't just this podcast. This podcast that we're doing right now is like
a testing ground.
Is a testing ground for where I want to possibly do something in the future. I don't really want to go into too much details because I don't want to give it away, but it's a testing ground for possibly doing more.
Cool.
Of audio on demand. Yeah, let's call it.
We've spoken off air and off record about it a few.
Yeah, so that's
I really like
the that's the concept. Now that's not going to come to fruition for a little while because this is, like I said, this is a testing ground, seeing how it works, seeing how the software, etc., etc., etc. So I would love to get into more audio on demand and creating. Journalism is the wrong word, but I'd like to do more stories. I've always wanted to do documentaries, online documentaries, but not as in more comedy documentaries. So mockumentaries, I guess, would be the right thing to say it.
Good phrase, yeah.
So taking the Office kind of scenario, but putting that as an audio scenario. But so what I tell you, one of the ideas I had was the Crazy Frog theme. I wanted to do a whole documentary about the Crazy Frog theme. Okay. As a serious documentary, but it's funny to me that people want to listen to the story about the Crazy Frogs theme
and how it came about.
And how it came about. And I actually wrote a lot. Damn it, I've lost all the work I did for it. I don't know where it is. But that was that kind of stuff. So audio marketing or audio marketing would be something I'd be interested in, and just audio in general. Then there's a plan. I'm not possibly. The 5-year plan is to probably be back in the UK.
Fair enough.
Or somewhere in Europe. Just because schooling is the main thing. Yeah. It's a kids thing. I think for me, I've done my time in Phuket. I've loved the time here. I've hated the time here. It's been good and bad for various different reasons. I've had mates. I've lost mates. Some have left. Some have died. And it's been a great ride. But I think there has to be a point where enough's enough. I've not lived in the UK properly for 35 odd years.
Yeah.
So to all of a sudden go back, I remember going back in 2006 when it was you had to have an Oyster card to travel. I was like, I've got cash.
Yeah.
What's cash?
Yeah.
Why don't you take cash?
Yeah.
Cash is good. No,
Yeah.
we need an Oyster card.
Yeah.
The fuck is an Oyster card?
Quite.
I think I'd be all right. So what would I do back in the UK? Well, once again, hopefully the audio concept will work. Back there, because I can do that anywhere. Listen, we'll get to bucket list. I'd love a goat farm. I'm not on bucket list. I guess, I'd love to have a goat farm. I know it sounds weird, but just having a little goat farm on a little thing and just being... But, you got to make money. Right now, it's not about me. Right now, it's about what's best for the kids. And
to be honest, this podcast is about you. So
the podcast is about me, for fucking right.
Yeah.
But for my 5-year plan, it's more about for the kids.
Yeah.
And the education side of thing is, look, at the moment, the schooling in Phuket, they go to KIS, and it's a great school, and they're doing a really good time. They're having a really good time there, and they're really learning. They're doing fantastic. However, from a financial point of view, it's extremely expensive for me to keep putting two kids through that. And it goes up and up every year the older they get. And I also think the opportunity that they can have in the UK from a schooling point of view, we can either not pay for school or we can invest in a private school with the money that we're spending on the kids. So I think that I have to make that decision. I've already made that decision, but obviously I'm in a situation where I can't just do it.
You can't just up sticks and go. But
No. There's other people.
You've had a plan in place for a while.
And the other person that has the say as well has always known that has always been the plan as well.
Yeah.
So and in all fairness, she has always said, the kids come first. And even through when we got divorced, although there was a couple of times where she might have used them against me, generally speaking, there was never stuff negative in front of the kids or bad mouthing, and I have to respect people for that.
Yeah.
I respect her for that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not people.
Okie dokes. So, Bucket list, other than a goat farm.
Yeah. I was thinking about this as well. I don't know if I've got a bucket list. There's things I'd like to do. Does that count as a bucket list?
I can't. Well, it's like when you asked me, it's like
It's weird, isn't it?
are there places you want? And like myself, you've travelled, fairly extent that you've been to different continents and countries. And
Yeah.
So in
I've done
terms
a
of-
lot. I have done a lot, and there isn't much that I would say that I would. Don't wake up and think, I'd love to do the Paris Dakar Rally. Not that you can do that anymore. You can only do the Dakar Rally. I'm not sure if I'd get probably bored after a while. I think I said last week on your bucket list about going to the big football games, but I was thinking about that. I actually hate crowds, so it'd be a terrible thing for me to do. Listen, for a bucket list for me, I think there are a couple of. I would like to have a boat. I do like deep sea fishing, as in like big marlin fishing and tuna fishing. I'd like to do. I mean, I've done it already, but I think I'd like to do more of that. It's not really a bucket list thing, though, is it? I mean, it's not like going up to the top of Tutankhamun or anything like that.
Yeah. Can I add one from I forgot to mention last week?
Well, you can't. What, on your one?
Yeah.
Oh, go back to you then.
Do a duet with Elton John.
Really?
Yeah. I do like a sing song, and I'm a massive Elton fan. So I mean,
See, I've got no. I don't have an interesting person that I'd like to meet or have dinner with. I mean, one of the questions we should do is who would you have dinner with, and or kiss, snog, and die or whatever.
Marry, I think. Well, same thing.
Bucket list. Okay, I would like to have a nice house, but that's not a bucket list thing, is it? You just earn that.
Well, okay,
work hard.
take it down the other track.
Am I rubbish at that?
Well, no, I mean it.
I don't want to jump out of a plane. I'm not scared of heights. I'm scared of dying from heights.
Yeah.
So that doesn't bother me.
Well, is there a particular
country.
person of interest? Is there someone that be it a musician, actor?
No, because I
politician?
think when you meet them, they're not the. I've met loads of people. No, I'm not interested in that. I mentioned James Caan. Those people that don't know who James Caan is, he's quite big in the UK. He's a very, very clever businessman and was on TV on Dragon's Den. I met him the other week, and nice guy. I'm not like, oh my God, James Caan, let's have a selfie in a picture.
That's the thing, because I possibly with the exception of
lovely
Elton,
guy though. If he wants to invest in Jayleshark Productions, please go ahead.
Or Canine Point Academy, or both.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite frankly. I mean, I've always kind of said I don't buy the whole starstruck thing. There's some people I would like to meet. Whether it's a singer, an actor, or a politician. Yeah, it'd be great to. I would love to sit down with someone like Obama and just chew the fat and have a chat.
Really?
For someone like him, I absolutely.
But you're
would.
intelligent.
It's not. No, it's not about intelligence.
But you could hold a conversation with Obama. I couldn't hold a conversation with Obama.
No, but you. Well, I'm sure you
He'd
could.
think I was a knob cheese.
No, well,
He probably wouldn't call me a knob cheese
he
to my
probably
face,
wouldn't
but he
call you
probably
that,
would go out and go, "Do you know what?
Even a knob
Shark guy."
cheese.
Do you remember when he came to Thailand? I tried to get an interview with him. I think I was working for one of the radio stations at the time.
No, it wasn't him. It was Hillary Clinton.
No, it was Obama. I still get messages from the Facebook group I set up years ago. Helped Jayleshark get an interview with Barack Obama.
Actually, no, that does ring a bell.
It was. I can't remember which, because I did. So going back to the radio. Do you know what bucket list? No, I haven't still got one. I was just mentioning the radio. I can't remember which radio station, because I've been on most of them in Phuket. But I remember I tried to get an interview with him.
That was the news one.
It was probably Phuket News, where I did the weekend brunch show.
Yeah,
which was great. That's why I interviewed. Oh, not an interview. I introduced Jean-Pierre, who was my food critic. He was a brilliant character, Jean-Pierre. God, that show used to take me a lot of editing. My word. Yeah, Jean-Pierre was a food critic. He used to do weird and strange foods from around the world. Jean-Pierre, he was a great character.
Excellent.
Miss doing that.
Well,
Going back to bucket list, don't want to go to Australia. Never had any interest in going to Australia at all.
Have you ever been?
No, too many things that can kill you there. Don't want to go.
Fucking right.
And I find, once again, do you know what? I hate the tribalistic side of things. I find Australians, not all of them, but a majority of them are very tribalistic about being, you're a pom and all that. And I just, once again, it comes back to that. That's why I don't really get involved in sport anymore, because of that. And I hate that. You know, I'm not a pom. I didn't have anything to do with anything back then. Get over yourselves.
You fucking convict.
Yeah, move on, dick shit, and stop with your silly accent. Everything's... I like Neighbours, though. Used to watch Neighbours. Home and Away was shit. I didn't like Home and Away. Bucket list. No, I tried to get on TV ages ago. I applied for a few different reality TV shows. Didn't work out.
Do you remember a show? It would have been mid late 90s called Wanted.
No.
So that was it was that in Fame Academy I tried to get onto, but Wanted was brilliant. It was two mates, and they had 3 teams, and they had basically, if you think of a map of the UK, map of England, sorry, and they divided it into 1 kilometre squares. So, and you had a week, and you were basically being hunted by like an ex-SAS hero, whatever.
What, a real one?
Yeah. So they had three teams, 3 groups, 3 mates. So it'd be you and I, and there'd be 2 others going that way. So, and you could go anywhere in England, but you couldn't go back into the same square twice. So with that 1 kilometre square.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good game.
This was fucking brilliant. They only ran for a season. I'm amazed it didn't get redone. So, and he got £1,000 a day.
Sorry, I just put my hand up because I thought of a bucket list. Ask me later.
Okay, so
if I remember it.
If you survive, if you went through a day and you weren't spotted by the person chasing you, you had a 12-hour head start, and you could only use public transport, couldn't fly. It was only like trains and taxis and what have you. Couldn't hire a car. It had to be public transport and bits and pieces. And if
Does taxis really count as public transport?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah. So I'll come on to this in a minute.
Oh.
So in more ways than one. So if you avoided detection, you got £1,000, and you had each day you had a task. So you had to go to, for example, a car dealership and have a chat with the dealer and have a photo taken to show that you'd done this particular task.
Yeah, like a treasure hunt.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So had to do that, and then survive the day, get £1,000. If you were spotted, that's it. You're out. You get to the end of the week. And you had to be at a certain phone booth in a certain place at the end of that week. And if you got there was a live phone-in on TV that you survived the week. Fantastic. So there's your cash.
It just sounds like a kidnapping.
It kind of does. But it was brilliant to watch. And also, members of the public, this is where it got fun, if someone saw us, they could call in the show and say, hey, I've just seen Jay and Russell there, down this particular street. And they could then tell the person that was looking for you. And if they found you, then obviously you get dobbed out. But the person that phoned you in gets £1,000. So you're trying to...
That sounds quite cool.
It was really well done. And one of the guys that did really well with it, he was a cabbie. And he was basically hanging around the Northwest. And like a lot of the cabbies up there were just...
Hiding him.
Yeah, nobody was dobbing him in. So he had to keep on moving because he had to do his tasks. But he was fucking well shielded.
Is this how the IS trained?
Yeah, probably, yeah. So
like
it was a really, really good show.
I applied for Shipwreck, which was one of the first ones.
It was like
in
a
the
Survivor
UK.
sort of thing,
yeah,
wasn't it?
It was before
yeah.
Survivor. But the reason I applied for it was, one, because I'd always wanted to... I guess one of my dreams was to live on an island, on a deserted island, on the beach, just having my little catamaran, my little bar, and that was kind of what my life wanted to be. The music, I love the music. I think they used Morshiba, the sea. That's why I fell in love with it.
Fair enough.
I forgot on my bucket list. I really have. I thought I had it.
What happened with Shipwreck in terms of you applied?
Oh, no, I applied, but then, they weren't really that interested because I think, I wasn't marketable. I wasn't the crazy guy.
It's a character sort of
I wasn't.
fit.
I wasn't the fit for it.
Okay.
And I also think my whole video that I sent in was me on Southend Beach, pretending I was fishing in the sea, and I brought out some fish fingers, I think, out of the sea. It was quite common. It was very similar to Safety Bob video.
Yeah.
If you've not seen Safety Bob, go to Jayleshark Facebook page and search out videos and watch Safety Bob video. It was very funny. Russell and I.
That was fantastic.
We need to do more of those, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, that was...
I did have a bucket list thing, and do you know what? For life of me, I'll remember it later. And do you know what I do when I do the intro for this?
You'll remember it. Yeah.
I'll remember it and I'll say it. But no, bucket list one. Do you know what? I guess I'd really just like to be very happy. I'd love a little farm. I think the goat thing and little farm.
Boring.
Yeah, I know it's boring, but I kind of.
Well, all right. While you're thinking of
no
a bucket list idea,
can't think of
and
anything else.
just to round everything off,
Yeah.
do you believe in flat Earth?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah, of course I do.
So you're convinced that the Earth is flat?
I'm not convinced of anything, mate. Look, if someone, I'm very open to anybody else's beliefs, as long as it doesn't affect my life, which it generally doesn't, because I don't really care.
I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit anymore. I'm trying my hardest not to let other people affect my life or anyone affect my life. Look, if someone wants to believe the Earth's flat, why not? If it pleases them. It's like religion. I don't care. I'm not an atheist in any way, shape, or form. I'm not one that goes, "Oh, God doesn't exist." It exists in people's brains. I can't stop people.
Or she.
Or she, yeah, or whoever. I mean, there's idiots out there. There's a frigging idiot that's affected my... when people start affecting my life, then I get pissed off.
That's fair enough.
But when it doesn't affect my life, I couldn't care less. I really couldn't. I do try to be chilled out about the whole stuff. I've lost the bucket list again. I really thought I had one, and then it's gone again. No, it's gone again. This podcast was always a thing I wanted to do. It's not really a bucket list thing, though, is it?
If it was important to you, it's a bucket list thing, and you can say, "Hey, check." I mean, this is what, number 9?
10.
Wow, there you go.
I know. Done
Fantastic.
well. We've got to do a few more. I go to the UK soon. We better start putting some in the bank. No, but I'm still thinking about the bucket list stuff. It's a difficult question, isn't it?
It is when it's directed at you, especially when you haven't had any fucking time to prepare.
I've had a week to prepare.
Yeah,
probably had 10 weeks to prepare. I just don't have anything that I like. I think that's happiness, kids' happiness for them. I mean, just for them to be. I'd like to go skiing with them. That's not really a bucket list, is it? Is it?
Yeah. Well,
does bucket list is? I thought bucket list was like one of those things you want to do. You have to do it before you die.
I guess it's kind of a bit like that. But also, I don't have kids, so it's a little bit different. But for you, surely going skiing with your kids, I mean, you like skiing.
Yeah.
But going skiing with your kids the very first time and seeing your kids ski on their own for the first time, that must be a huge...
It would fuck me off because they wouldn't be quick enough to keep up. And I'd be like, come on. Yeah. I'm not going down this shitty little nursery slope. We're going up there. Yeah. Up there or not at all,
and then not long after that, they would be up on the big slope with you bombing past you.
Oh, mate, they would
that would fuck you off as well.
No, I would bomb past them. I'm a damn good skier. I love skiing, actually, until I screwed my knee up. That was
Jay,
nice.
It's been really fun
talking
to you on your podcast.
Thank you for talking to me on my podcast.
No, I think this has been fun.
No, I enjoy it. I enjoy doing the podcast. I don't enjoy talking about myself. No, I do enjoy talking about myself. Interesting life. There's so much more to talk about. I understand how people... Because it's good that we've done this, because now I know what it's like when people have been interviewed, because there's so many things I want to go back and answer
Correct.
again.
Yeah.
It's
and also
it?
other questions. Oh, I should have asked that. There's other things to talk about.
No, I think it's really interesting.
Good.
So it's good that we did this way.
Yeah, it wasn't a complete exercise in futility. It was actually worthwhile.
I don't know, futility? Isn't
Not
that when you
fertility.
get pregnant?
Yeah.
On that note, thank you, Russell.
Cheers, Jay. See you next week.
Oh, we got to do the outro bit now, don't we?
I was just going to do it rather than telling everyone we're going to do it. But
all right, leave a break now. That was a Jayleshark and Friends
and Russell
podcast with me, Jayleshark, answering all the questions.
And me, Russell, asking them.
We did well, I think.
I think we did well.
That was 50-odd minutes.
I think the last 2 podcasts, I'm not bigging us up here, but I think they've been the best 2 interviewee connections we've ever had.
Been interesting, eh? A lot easier to edit as well.
Yeah.
The sound quality is much better.
Yeah.
Hopefully this month I might buy myself that new equipment.
Yeah.
We've got some interesting news in the new year coming up. Which
we certainly do.
It's quite exciting, but we'll
I have no idea what it is. I'm just saying.
I do.
Yeah.
But look, let's. So if you're interested in our podcast, please go to Facebook and search Jayleshark and Friends on the old Facebook.
You can email us at jaylesharkandfriends@gmail.com.
That is right. Not that I ever check that email. We're also on the Twitter now. We're not on the Instagram yet. Should we set up an Instagram page?
We could do, because then all the photo. Oh, we need to take a photo of us again. Well, we did one last month.
Yeah, we'd have to. I'm not sure if I'm in the same colour shirt I was in last, but I think I am in the same pink shirt. I think I wear this every Friday. I don't think that would be
difficult to find. If we had an Instagram account, we could check back and look at it.
Well, yeah,
but I think an
true.
Instagram account might be a good idea. Just why the fuck?
Well, I set up the old Twitter one. So that can be done.
I should get around to following that.
In fact, I sent you that link I sent you about the Twitter thing. I'll explain to you now why we got this, people. It's what it does is it actually takes your Instagram post and puts it on Twitter. Whereas before, it would just say, you have just posted on Instagram. It would just give you a link on Twitter.
Right. Okay,
whereas what this one does is it actually puts the picture up and the first 100 to 180 characters. So that's what I'll send it to you for.
Okay. I've got another bit of software which I'm using at the minute, which I think already does that, but I need to double check it. Because that's a very good point about the whole Twitter thing.
Anyway, so there you go. But then if you want to search K9 Academy, you can. We're at Russell's house right now with his doggies. This Max Alsatian is lovely.
He's a lovely little boy, that one.
And Captain's
Big
here.
Boy.
Sassy's
a snooze over there. Bob's around here somewhere.
Bob keeps licking me. But no, this Max Alsatian, he is a goofball, but I love him to death. I want to have a rumble with him, but I know it's not the right thing to do.
We'll do it
but anyway, we'll do it later.
Cool. Who have we got next week?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm hopefully vegan burger lady.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's the plan.
Excellent.
She's been busy setting up burger bars in
Patong.
She's got burger bars in Blue Tree. She's got burger bars in frigging Bang Tower. So hopefully we'll get her on there. Because she said that what she's going to do is she's going to make me, not you, make me a Beyond Beef burger fake meat thing
That's
and
right.
wants me to try it, and it's going to convert me to veganism.
I can't see that coming across well on the pod, but it will be something to look forward to.
Listen, I'm very happy to try vegan. I've had a few vegan burgers in my time. In fact, I'm going to have a burger tonight from Prime Burger, who won Phuket's Best Burger this year, because that's where I'm going tonight.
What time
to
are you
have
going?
I've got I won't be done till 8.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
well,
I've
fuck
got
you
work
then.
to do.
Cheers, Jay.
Sorry, we're just having a normal conversation then, weren't we? Yeah, like us on Facebook. Listen to the pod. We're on. Give us a like on iTunes if you can, on their little podcast thing. Give us a subscribe, please. That helps us. And if you can just 5-star us, you can say anything you like. We don't give a shit what you say about us. It's not for our egos. It's just it helps us up the rankings. Not that we're on any rankings whatsoever. But
it would be nice.
But it would be nice.
Cool.
If you want to be on the podcast, let us know. Jayleshark@gmail.com. Thanks, Russell.
Cheers, Jay.
Bye.
Bye.